Hi, welcome to this Atomic Talk on Emotional Intelligence. In this session, we are going to talk about what is emotional intelligence, why emotional intelligence is a skill which is important for software testers or for software testing, what are the different models of emotional intelligence, and how to go about raising your emotional intelligence or EQ skills. So the very first thing, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is a skill, is an ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions as well as emotions of others to relieve stress, diffuse conflicts, produce positive outcomes. Why it is important for software testers, for that matter, or for anybody, uh, you know, testing as a nature of a job is to criticize, is to tell people what is wrong, what is not going right, where the approach is not working, what are the pain areas. So a lot of time testers come face to face with the other engineering stakeholders and engineers for that matter in providing input on what has not been working correctly. And that basically makes them more often the messenger of bad news. This basically puts this a lot of time. It is upon testers to deliver the bad news. It creates sometimes environment which is frustrating, which creates animosity and which also creates debates which are sometimes not healthy in nature. Hence, emotional intelligence is a key skill which a tester should definitely acquire. It helps the tester to kind of provide criticism and feedback in a constructive manner, diffuse conflicts, handle situation positively, maintain good rapport, and come across as enterprising and solution oriented. So what are the three different essential models of emotional intelligence which we can talk about here? One is ability model, then there is trait model, and there is mixed model, which is a hybrid model of both. So very first thing is ability model. Ability model is something which we all use in some form the other. For example, ability model asks you to be very careful about or very conscious about how you perceive others' emotion. When you walk into a room, the situation is heated up. How well you can perceive the emotions, how well you can perceive the mood of the situation. Are you able to perceive others' emotions correctly? Are you able to use their emotions correctly? Is your cognitive intelligence helps you to basically understand that based on the mood how the situation should be dealt with, how the conversation should go along, and why these people or the person which is involved in the situation is reacting in a particular way. So understanding emotions is equally important, and then managing them, your emotion as well as others. So basically that leads to regulation of your emotions as well as the regulation of other and ability to kind of influence the emotions of others. So that essentially is ability model. I advise and I strongly recommend that you read a little more detail about this out of this atomic talk as well. The other model is the model which is used by leaders more often, which is called mixed model, where if you are in a situation where you are responsible for outcome of a team, mixed model asks you to be more self-aware about your weaknesses so that you can self-regulate them. It also encourages you to know your strength area so that you can play along with it. You have social skills to manage your relationships with your team members, and you practice empathy so that your decision makings and your inclusiveness, you ensure inclusiveness in your decisions with others, and you're able to motivate people to not only drive positive results individually, but through people as well. So mixed model essentially talks about that. And the third is trait model. Trait model is very interesting, and I think it says that everybody has three traits. One is cardinal trait, one is central trait, and one is secondary trait. The cardinal trait essentially is the ruling trait, or you can say the ruling passion or obsession of any person. For example, need for money, fame, etc. Central trait is a general characteristics which is found in every person, like honesty, kindness, love for music, love for food, love for traveling, maybe which shows that the person is inclined towards any sort of art, which talks about that the person is inclined towards any sort of experience. They're more driven towards experiences. Secondary trait talks about those things which comes out very, very rarely, like shyness and anxiety. If shyness, anxiety, and anger is a cardinal trait, then that's a problem. But otherwise, you kind of try to find 3 traits in any person you're closely working with, and then you go about deciding an approach of handling that person or situation. So it's about reading people effectively with these techniques, and having an emotionally intelligent behavior around them. Then we come about that if once we know that these are different models by which you can raise it, like how you go about raising your skill, so of course, EQ, EQ basically is something which doesn't come overnight. Like you have to know about yourself better to be able to handle somebody else. So for example, it's important that you see that how do you kind of reflect on your emotions, and what are your pain points, what are your up and flip sides. Do you ask for others perspective to understand that how you are getting perceived. Be observant, be patient, and kind of reflect that what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and why they are so. And that basically answers a lot of questions, that how do you react to a situation, and why do you react in a certain way. That tells you a lot about yourself, and that allows you to have better control on your interactions with others. And how do you take, for example, criticism? How do you take it as an offense? Does that encourages you to do better, or do you take it as a learning point, and how do you go about it? So that essentially is pretty much I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for listening. I'm there on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me. More than happy to exchange thoughts and information and knowledge around. Thank you so much.